The local paper, it's long been under threat. The Danville Register and Bee and the Martinsville Bulletin are two daily papers taking a hit as Lee Enterprises cuts down on circulation on several of its newspapers around the country. The papers attributed the news to changing consumption habits of readers as well as outside forces impacting local news. WFXR's Rianne Lowndes has more on the changes and the evolving landscape that's happening.
After well over 100 years, the Danville Register and Bee and the Martinsville Bulletin are still printing, but their owner, Lee Enterprises, has been making cuts in newsrooms around the country. And now our local papers are taking the hit. Starting June 27th, they'll be publishing larger newspapers, but only on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. And those papers will be delivered by the U.S. Postal Service, saying in nearly identical articles that shifts in advertising trends, increasing newsprint costs, and the job market are all contributing factors. The papers say you can still visit their digital platforms daily.
The problem is not just that we're seeing fewer copies per week of a newspaper, but there's also increasingly, in a lot of cases, less local content.
Dr. James Ivory is a communications professor at Virginia Tech and says changes like this aren't surprising. Advertising revenue isn't what it was.
Newspapers, news, it's like having water in your house. You take it for granted, you don't even notice it, you're not willing to pay much for it, but when it's gone, you wish you had it. The kind of journalism that basically supports and betters our society by keeping us informed and serving as a watchdog on institutions is declining in terms of support.
The future of print journalism is uncertain, and no one knows that better than the future of print journalism.
Getting a job in this industry gets worse every year.
Shauna Muckle is a student at Washington and Lee and the editor of the independent student paper Ring Tum Phi.
I mean, honestly, when we're distributing the newspapers, there's always a question of, is anyone actually picking up the physical copy, or are they just going to get thrown in the recycling bin? Versus, I think we have a more surefire way to obviously, first of all, gauge traffic with an article online. And also, that's what, the link is what gets shared. She and Ivory both say subscriptions are boosting papers' revenues, but consumers accustomed to free online content may not subscribe fast enough to make a difference. Rianne Lowndes, WFXR News.